This is the Classic Baseball Broadcast Network, where we believe there is nothing like hearing about history from those who lived it. Listen to our full catalog of broadcasts at classicbaseballbroadcast.com. If you enjoy the podcast, please help me out and do one of three things. Follow, subscribe this podcast, and leave a review. It really helps. Share us with your baseball friends. Let them know about us. Or jump over to members.thisdayinbaseball.com. Join our email list, community, and our family of baseball podcasts.
Right now with Met manager Wes Westrom and Dodger captain Maury Wills, it's going to be Claude Osteen going for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and for the Mets it will be right-hander Jack Fisher. We'll check the starting lineups in just a moment. Is this one of those nights when you're not yourself? You'll feel more so when you listen to this. Oh, I'm not myself at all. Molly dear, I'm not myself at all.
This song gets sung over and over at Irish parties and picnics until the singers raise a ferocious thirst. Then they change their tune.
Come fill up your glasses and drink what you will, on a land you don't need every day.
This is a traditional Irish drinking song, and often the beer they drink is Rheingold Extra Dry. In fact, in New York City, where there are more Irish than in the whole of Dublin, more people drink Rheingold than any other beer. Why do Irish Americans like Rheingold? We don't know, but we must be doing something right.
I'm a man you don't meet every day, every day. I'm a man you don't meet every day.
Here are the starting lineups for tonight's game. First for the visiting Los Angeles Dodgers, who still are in first place in the National League. Leading off and playing shortstop, Captain Maury Wills. Batting second and playing third base tonight, Jim Gilliam. Batting third and playing center field, Willie Davis. Batting fourth and playing right field, Ron Fairley. Hitting fifth and playing left field is Lou Johnson. Batting sixth and playing second base, Jim Lefevre. Batting seventh at first base is Wes Parker. Batting eighth and catching, John Roseberry in the lineup tonight against the right-hand pitcher. And batting ninth and pitching for the Dodgers is Claude Osteen, who is a left-hander. For the New York Mets, leading off and playing third base, Ron Hunt. Batting second is the shortstop, Roy McMillan. Batting third in right field, Joe Christopher. Batting fourth is the left fielder, Ron Swoboda. Batting fifth is center fielder, Jim Hickman. Followed by first baseman, Ed Kranepool. Batting seventh and catching, Chris Cannizzaro. Batting eighth is the second baseman, Chuck Hiller. And batting ninth and pitching, Jack Fisher, as the New York Mets takes the field. Jack Fisher is now on his way to the mound. The umpires tonight are Bill Williams at the plate, Bob Engel at first base, Tom Gorman at second, and Ed Sudol around at third. Last night, as the Mets defeated the Dodgers, the Cincinnati Reds defeated the Milwaukee Braves, so that the Dodgers stayed on top in the National League. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. on the field with Ed Cranepool at first base, Chuck Hiller at second, Roy McMillan at short, and Ron Hunt at third. Ron Swoboda in left field, Jim Hickman in center field, and Joe Christopher in right. Chris Canizaro the catcher, and Jack Fisher the pitcher. Hickman being inserted in center field in place of Johnny Lloyd against left-hand pitcher Claude Osteen of the Dodgers. The Dodgers, in turn, against the right-hander, Jack Fisher, have juggled their batting order, moving Willie Davis up to the number 3 spot in the order, and dropping Wes Parker down to number 7. Now up to lead off is Maury Wills. Maury Wills, a switch hitter, will be batting left here against right-hander Jack Fisher. He has hit safely in 7 consecutive games. He is hitting .292 for the season. 23 runs batted in. Fisher looks in, gets a sign, and here is the first pitch of the ball game. It's high for a ball. Ron Hunt at third for the Mets, charged in a step or two as Maury Wills bluffed the bunch. On the coaching lines for the Dodgers, Danny Ozark at first base, Preston Gomez at third. Here's a pitch, swung on, hit in the air, down the right field line, a foul ball. Into the seats and out of play. Count of 1-1 to Wills. Dodgers are on top in the National League. The Braves, a half game back. The Giants, a game and a half. The Reds, 2.5. Well, it's bunted foul back off the screen and out of play as Maury Wills is going to try to drag that one. In this very tight National League race, only 2.5 games separate the top 4 teams. Then come the Phillies, who are 5 1/2 games back, and the Pirates, who are 6.5. Swing and a base hit going up the middle. Taken by Hickman and played back. Maury Wills turns and holds it first. Jack Fisher stabbed at that ball. As it went by, it was lined just about the height of his glove, and he stabbed at it as it went through the box, but it went on out into center field. So Maury Wills keeps his consecutive game hitting streak alive at 8 games, and switch hitter Jim Gilliam's coming up batting left. Maury Wills has stolen 80 bases this year. Gilliam's hitting .277. He has 4 homers and 28 runs batted in. Pitch is swung on, it's deep to right. It's way back there. It's going, and this one is off the wall in play by Christopher. Picked up now by Christopher. Maury Wills is coming home. He scores standing up, and Gilliam slides in at third with a triple. A triple and a run batted in. Joe Christopher went back apparently thinking that that ball was going to go over the fence. He turned and went back and was just sort of giving it the look as it went over his head. And then as it came off the wall in play, it went past him, and he had to run it down. Quickly, the Dodgers have a run here in the top half of the first inning, and they lead by a score of 1-0, and Willie Davis is up. Left-hand batter who has hit safely in 7 consecutive games. Davis hitting .243 with 6 homers and 39 runs batted in. The Mets play the infield end. Fly ball deep to right. Christopher going back, and this one is taken by Christopher over his head, and tagging at third and coming on now is Gilliam to score. As Christopher made the catch going away, he stabbed the ball in the glove for the out. It was easy, of course, for Jim Gilliam to tag and score after the catch, and the Dodgers lead 2-0. That ball was hit over Christopher's head as well, but he went back and stabbed that one. Sacrifice fly and a run batted in for Davis. Ron Fairley's up, left-hand batter. Pitches inside, misses everything. Comes all the way to the screen for ball 1. With 1 man out and nobody on base, the Dodgers lead 2-0. Low. 2 balls, no strikes to Ron Fairley. Hitting cleanup for the Dodgers with an average of .287. Fairley has 9 home runs and leads the club in runs batted in with 66. is in for a called strike to Fairley. These Dodgers have been in first place or tied for first for all but 16 days of this baseball season. They have never trailed by more than one game. 2-1 pitch. Low for a ball. Ron Peronowski is still out of action with a pulled leg muscle. And today, of the relief corps, Bob Miller came up with a sore arm. So the Dodgers have had all sorts of injuries and illnesses, and they're still in first place. Here's a pitch in for a called strike. 3-2 to Ron Fairley. Gordon Richardson is up and throwing in the bullpen here in the first inning now for the Mets. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on it on the ground at first, taken by Craneville. He's going to the bag to make the play unassisted. He beats Fairley. There are 2 men out. It'll bring up left fielder Lou Johnson, a right-hand batter, who's hitting .252. Lou Johnson has 10 homers, 44 runs batted in.
Number 41. Left fielder.
With the 10 homers, Lou Johnson leads the Dodgers in that department. The Dodgers as a club have hit 65 home runs this year. The ball is bunted foul and goes out of play down the third base line. Of the Dodgers' 65 home runs, 45 have been hit on the road. 5 of them here at Shea Stadium. Now strike one pitch to Lou Johnson. Sidearm delivery in there for a call, strike 2. Little crossfire off it up by Jack Fisher. 2 men out, nobody on base. One of the greatest of all the Brooklyn Dodgers is here tonight. Roy Campanella watching the game from the press deck. Here's a 2-strike pitch. Swung on and popped up the infield. Craneville moves over near the mound, and Craneville is at the mound and makes the catch. Side is retired. The Dodgers got 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors and none left. The score at the end of a half inning is the Dodgers 2 and the Mets coming to bat. It's very hard to sell sheet music in Jamaica, you know. They make up songs whenever they need them, like this.
Having a party, eating rice and peas, dancing happily as you please. Charming lady with a very nice smile. Think I'll talk to her for a while. Think I'll talk to her for a while.
When Jamaicans get together for a party, the beat is calypso and the songs are made up on the spot.
The party was hilarious as it could be, but in the morning there was news for me. The penny was a man play wedding tune on his pipe. The smiling lady is now my wife. The smiling lady is now my wife.
And when the singer finds his throat a little dry, something refreshing will be improvised. Probably Rheingold beer. In New York City, where there are more different kinds of people than in any other city in the world, more people drink Rheingold Extra Dry than any other beer. Why do Jamaicans like Rheingold? We don't know, but we must be doing something right.
Coming to the bottom half of the first inning now, and the Dodgers are on the field with Wes Parker at first base, Jim Lefevre at second, Maury Wills at shortstop, and Jim Gilliam at third. Lou Johnson's in left field. Willie Davis is in center, and Ron Fairley's in right. John Roseborough is catching. The first time Roseborough has been in action since the breakup between the Dodgers and Giants at Candlestick Park on Sunday when Roseborough was hit by a bat-wielding Juan Marichal of the Giants. And here is Ron Hunt up now with an average of .237. Osteen's pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. Claude Osteen has won 11 and lost 11 this year for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He came to them along with third baseman John Kennedy from the Washington Senators in the Frank Howard deal. Osteen is 26 years of age. Against the Mets this year, he's won 1 and he's lost 2. Billy Cowan beat him with a home run at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. Now the strike one pitch to Hunt, and it's high for a ball, 1-1. Hunt chokes up on the bat, and here's the pitch. It's low for a ball, 2-1. On the coaching lines for the Mets, Yogi Berra is at first, and Don Hefner is around at third. It's 2-1 pitch, and it's high for a ball. So now Osteen goes behind, 3-1. Dodgers and the Mets have played 16 games this season. Dodgers have won 12, and the Mets have won 4. It's the first time the Mets have won as many as 4 games from the Dodgers in any season. Here's a 3-1 pitch, and it's in there for a call strike. Hunt was taking all the way, moved back in the batter's box on the pitch. It's a full count of 3-2. Here at Shea Stadium this year, the Mets and Dodgers have played 7 games. The Dodgers have won 6, and the Mets won, and that's first victory coming last night. Payoff pitch, swung on and fouled out to the right side and out of play. As you know, a season series between two teams consists of 18 games, 9 at home and 9 on the road. And tomorrow night, the Dodgers and Mets will meet in their 18th game of the season, and it'll be Sandy Koufax pitching for the Dodgers and Tug McGraw for the Mets. Here's a payoff pitch to Hunt, foul back off the screen. He's still alive at 3-2. Has a 4-game winning streak and also 2 no-decision starts since a 6-4 loss to Milwaukee on July 21st. His road record is 5 wins and 2 losses. Payoff pitch, and it's low. Ron Hunt draws a leadoff walk. That will bring up Roy McMillan. McMillan, over the last 20 games, has hit at a clip of 397. His season's average is 250, 1 homer, and 31 runs batted in. McMillan has hit safely in 18 of the last 20 games, 27 for 68 over that span. Wes Parker holds against the runner Hunt at first. Osteen's pitch to McMillan is in there for a called strike. Defensively, the Dodgers play Roy McMillan straight away. And here's the strike one pitch. Swung on and fouled off. 1-1. Or rather, a 2-strike count to Roy McMillan. As has been the case the last 2 nights, there are plenty of good seats available here for this game between the Dodgers and the Mets. A little more than 37,000 last night. Here's a throw over, and Ron Hunt gets back safely. Joe Christopher's waiting in the on-deck circle. Osteen up and set with the pitch. It's outside for a ball to McMillan. Against Jack Fisher, a right-hand pitcher, the Dodgers tonight pulled Don LeJohn out of the lineup. He's a right-hand batter, and they're playing switch-hitting Jim Gilliam at third. Here's 2-2 pitch, swung on and hit in the air to left center field. Willie Davis moves over. Davis is called. Hunt's halfway. Davis makes the catch, and Hunt goes back to the bag at first. 1 away. Now Joe Christopher is coming up for the Mets. Christopher has hit safely in 5 straight games. He's hitting .244. He has 2 homers and 31 runs batted in. Right-hand batter facing a left-hand pitcher here. Osteen with the pitch that's in there for a called strike one. Jan Hunt takes his lead at first. Pitch to Christopher, and it's outside. 1-1. The Giants are at Pittsburgh again tonight. Pirates have taken 2 straight from the Giants. Here's a throw over and not in time. Bob Boland scheduled a pitch for the Giants tonight, and Bob Friend for Pittsburgh. Here's a 1-1 delivery, and it's high for a ball. 2-1. Cincinnati Reds are at Milwaukee again tonight. Sammy Ellis for the Cincinnati Reds. He's won 16 and lost 7. Denville Lemaster for Milwaukee. He has won 6 and lost 10. The Houston Astros are at Philadelphia. Bob Bruce against Ray Culp. The Cubs are at St. Louis in a latest start, a night game. Pitch to Christopher, and it's swung on line to the center for a base hit. Charged by Willie Davis. Up with it, plays it back, and holding it second is Ron Hunt. Joe Christopher is on. He keeps his consecutive game hitting streak alive at 6 straight games. And Ron Swoboda is coming up. The Dodgers lead 2-0. Christopher gets the first hit for the Mets. Off Osteen. In the American League, it's a full slate of night action. The Yankees are in Minnesota against the Twins again tonight. At the end of an inning and a half, the Boston Red Sox 5 and the Washington Senators 2. They've only played an inning and a half at Fenway Park, and already home runs by McMullen, King, Yastrzemski, Canigliaro, and Petroselli. Osteen sets and checks. Here's a swing and a drive in the left field for a base hit. Going all the way to the corner, and Hunt rounds third, and he's coming home. Ball is retrieved by Johnson, played in, holding at third is Christopher, holding at second is Swoboda. With a double to left and a run batted in, it's the Dodgers 2, the Mets 1. The Mets have runners at second and third and 1 man out. Lou Johnson retrieved the ball in a hurry and cleanly out there on the rebound to hold Christopher at third base. And now Jim Hickman is coming up, playing center field tonight. Hickman's hitting .216, 9 home runs, 24 runs batted in. In the first game of Sunday's doubleheader here against the St. Louis Cardinals, Hickman was cast in the hero's role when he came on as a pinch hitter and hit a 3-run homer over the right field fence that won the first game for the Mets. And he's being intentionally walked here. The first pitch is outside for ball 1. Left-hand batter Ed Craneville is on deck, and the Dodgers are going to put Hickman on and pitch to Craneville. 2-0. Outside, 3-0. Now ball 4, and the intentional walk has been accomplished with Hickman going to first base. Ed Craneville up. He's a left-hand batter now, facing left-hand pitcher, Claude Osteen. Craneville overall is hitting .266 to lead the Mets at bat. He has 8 home runs and 46 runs batted in. So let's watch Ed try to hang in there now against this left-hander. As the Dodgers now, with 1 man out, drop Lefevre and Maury Wills back to double play down. The bases are loaded with 1 man out. Dodgers 2 and the Mets 1. Osteen bending from the waist will work straight away. Pitch to the left-hand batter. Inside for a ball. Across the letters, and Craneville rocked back. Got to stumble back out of the batter's box. It's ball 1. Christopher is the runner at third. Swoboda at second. Hickman at first. Chris Cannizzaro is on deck. 1-0 pitch. And it's in there for a call strike. It's 1-1. Jim Gilliam was in on the edge of the grass at third, and now he is dropping back. Figured he might try to squeeze. No indication of that on the first two pitches to Cranesville. Gilliam's even with the bag. Now here's the pitch swung and hit on the ground, and it's fouled by first baseman Parker. He goes to the plate. Way too late. The run scores. The bases are loaded. Parker was much too late when he strode to the plate. With the bases loaded, the runners had to go, and Parker gloved the ground ball on the backhand side to keep it from going through, but then when he got up, instead of going to the bag for the play, he threw home, much too late to get Christopher. The second run scored. It's a 2-2 ball game. The bases still are loaded, and Canizero is coming up. That ball was slammed hard, and it is scored as a base hit and a run batted in for Ed Cranesville. Parker went to his backhand side, which would be between him and the bag as he went toward the line, and was on his knees as he stopped the ball to keep it from going through, but then tried to go to the plate. Here is a pitch and it's time for a ball. 1-0 to Canizero. Bases loaded. Infield still a double play depth for the Dodgers. The score is tied 2-2. There's one man out. Jim Brewer is up and throwing in the bullpen now for the Dodgers. 1-0 delivery to Canizero, and it's in there for a strike, 1-1. Manager Walter Austin has his foot up on the second step of the dugout now, peering out at the mound. Mets have had 4 consecutive base hits off Claude Osteen. Second, 3 consecutive base hits. Hickman drew a walk in between. It was Christopher Swoboda and Cranesville with the base hits, and Hickman had an intentional walk in between. Osteen blessed to throw to second now. Hickman's back. Maury Wills is making a move to the back. Here's a 1-1 delivery, and it's a breaking ball high. 2 balls and 1 strike to Canizero with Chuck Hiller on deck. Hiller is a left-hand batter. Osteen with the pitch, and he lays off, takes it high, 3-1. Canizero was set to swing on that one, started to swing and then laid off at the last moment. Count is 3 balls and 1 strike with the bases loaded. The Mets and the Dodgers at Shea Stadium in New York. Met runners lead at first, second, and third. Wills makes a move to the bag. Here's a 3-1 pitch high. Walked him, and that will force in a run. And here comes Walter Austin to the mound. As Swoboda crosses the plate, the Mets lead by a score of 3-2. The bases still are loaded, and Austin is going to the mound. He has Jim Brewer in the bullpen. Give Chris Canizero a run batted in for drawing the walk with the bases loaded. The Mets 3, the Dodgers 2. Left-hand batter, Chuck Hiller, batting number 8 in the order tonight against the left-hand pitcher, is scheduled up next. Austin is talking to Osteen and to Roseboro and to second baseman Jim Lefevre. Umpire Tom Gorman joins the conference to ask if any action is going to be taken or if this is just a social gathering. Roseboro comes back behind the plate. Austin is still out there, giving Brewer more time to work up, to warm up. And now Austin leaves and goes back to the dugout. Chuck Hiller is hitting .248 for the season, 6 homers and 19 runs batted in. Jim Hickman is the Met runner at third. Ed Cranesville at second. Chris Canizero at first. Still 1 man out. Osteen working straight away. Pitch is low for a ball to Chuck Hiller. Dodgers play Lefevre and Wills at double play depth. At first base, Wes Parker's playing behind the runner. And Gilliam's even with the bag at third. Here's a swing and a ground ball to second. Second by Lefevre. Over to Wills for one. The throw to first. A double play, and the side is out. So Chuck Hiller hits into a 4-6-3 double play to retire the side. But the Mets got 3 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors and 2 left. And the score at the end of an inning is the Mets 3 and the Dodgers 2. Tomorrow night will mark the final meeting of this season between the Dodgers and the Mets. And it'll be Sandy Koufax going for the Dodgers. Koufax going after Bob Feller's all-time strikeout record, and he'll be shooting for victory number 22 of the season tomorrow night. The Mets are going to counter with 20-year-old left-handed Tug McGraw, who on Sunday went all the way against the world champion Cardinals and got his first major league victory. So it'll be Sandy Koufax against Tug McGraw here tomorrow night. Game time at 8 p.m. Then the San Francisco Giants will come in. The Giants will be here on Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. The probable pitchers for Friday night for the Giants, Warren Spahn. And for the Mets, Darryl Sutherland. And for Saturday, it's going to be Bob Shaw for the Giants, and Sunday it'll be Bob Boland for the Giants. The Mets figure to go with Galen Cisco Saturday night and Jack Fisher on Sunday afternoon. Tickets are now on sale for upcoming games here at Shea Stadium in New York. Right now, we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
Follow the Mets on WGY Schenectady, the voice of the Mets in the Great Northeast.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Canner and Bob Murphy at Shea Stadium in New York. We're going to the top of the second, and Jim Lefevre's up to lead off. He's a switch hitter batting left, facing right-hand pitcher Jack Fisher, who starts into the no wind-up motion, and here's the pitch. Swung on it on the ground, and taking it first by Cranepool. He'll have to go over to Fisher. He does in time. Cranepool moved to his right to glove that ground ball, chopped between first and second, and had to play to Jack Fisher covering the bag. So there is one away, and it's Wes Parker coming up, also a switch hitter batting left. Parker's hitting .239 with 6 homers and 40 runs batted in. Fisher's pitch to Parker. Swung on and hit deep to right, way back there. It's deep, going, and this one is over the wall for a home run. Just clearing the top of the wall, and the score is tied 3-3 on Wes Parker's home run to right, his 7th of the season. Christopher went back, had his foot up on the wall as he chased it back, but that one disappeared just over the fence. So it's a new ball game tied 3-3. We think a lot of Rheingold drinkers are going to be happy with our new Chug-A-Mug package of 6 12-ounce mugs, now on special display in your area. No opener needed, just pull the tab and drink your Rheingold Extra Dry right from the mug. John Roseborough is up. Here's the pitch. Low for a ball. Roseborough is hitting .220 for the season. He's had 7 home runs and 47 runs batted in. Now the pitch swung on and fouled back. I'll say this for Roseborough and his altercation with Juan Marichal. When the Mets were last in Los Angeles, the Dodgers and Dodger followers were fairly displeased with Roseborough's performance today and his .220 batting average. Here's a 1-1 delivery outside for a ball. But since the altercation with Marichal, the attitude, of course, has entirely changed. This is Roseborough's first appearance since that Sunday game at Candlestick. Primarily because the Mets have been pitching left-handers. He could have played the first night they were in here. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Swung on and hit in the air to center field. And Jim Hickman moves in underneath, waiting, and he makes the catch. So there are 2 men out, and that'll bring up Claude Osteen, the pitcher. Osteen's been up 74 times and has 9 hits, 1 triple, 2 runs batted in. He's hitting .122.
Number 23.
Fisher's pitch, high and away for a ball as Osteen started to go and laid off. Dodgers 3, the Mets 3. 1-0 delivery. Swung on and foul back. It's in the seats, out of play. 1-1. Pitch. And it's outside. 2-1. Fouled off and out of play. Count levels now at 2-2. This is the 2-2 delivery. Swung on and missed, and Jack Fisher gets his first strikeout as he gets Claude Osteen swinging. 1 run, 1 hit. No errors now left. The score at the end of an inning and a half is the Dodgers 3 and the Mets 3.
Parker at 238. Now Jackson taking plenty of time before stepping back in the pitching rubber. Will's already with a big lead.
The Mets proved that last night, and the Athletics proved that in 1925 playing against the Indians. Philadelphia got up in the 8th, trailing by a score of 15-4, but they didn't let that stop them. They tallied 13 times and won the game 17-15. Think about that the next time your team is behind. And let's say you think about Viceroy the next time you buy cigarettes. Because Viceroy is specifically designed to taste the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, like some brands that taste as if they didn't have a filter, and not too light, like some others. You know the kind. They just never seem to satisfy your taste. But Viceroy is not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the filter for the taste that's right.
Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Not too strong and not too light. The taste that's right.
In the bottom of the second now, the Mets will have pitcher Jack Fisher up to lead off, a right-hand batter. Facing left-hand pitcher Claude Osteen. There's a pitch foul back into the seats and out of play for strike 1. On deck. Manager Alston pacing up and down in the dugout of the Dodgers. Swung on and lined into center for a base hit. Willie Davis up with the ball, and Fisher holds it first with a leadoff single here in the bottom half of the second. Brings up Ron Hunt, who's been up one time and drew a walk. That's the 4th hit for the Mets off Osteen. Jim Gilliam comes over from his position at third. Wes Parker walks over from first. Score tied 3-3. At Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, at the end of an inning, the Giants nothing and the Pirates nothing. Bob Bolin against Bob Friend. The warm-ups in Milwaukee, Sammy Ellis for Cincinnati, and Denver LeMaster for the Braves. The end of a half inning, Houston nothing. The Phillies coming to bat. Bob Bruce against Ray Culp. The pitch to Hunt is in there for a called strike. Osteen bends from the waist to get a sign as Hunt settles himself back into the batter's box. Here's the pitch, and he was around to bunt and took it inside. 1-1. Hunt was getting into bunting position. And that brought Gilliam in at a gallop from his position at third. Pitch is high for a ball as Hunt swung the body around but still had the bat on his shoulder. He sort of lost his balance. 2-1. drew a leadoff walk in the first inning and later scored the first Met run. Throw over to first, and Jack Fisher is back safely. Delivery, and it's swung on foul out to the right side out of play. Levels the count at 2-2 to Ron Hunt. Osteen sets and checks. Here's a pitch swung on and missed, and Osteen gets his first strikeout as he got Hunt swinging. Roy McMillan's coming up. He's been up one time and flied out to center field. One away, Fisher holding it first. In recent years, second base has been the problem position for the Dodgers. But this year, Jim Lefebvre moved in and took that position over and has held on to it, and third base has been the problem position. Pitch is low to McMillan. Ball one. Fisher leads at first. Parker behind him there. He has a swing and a ground ball to short. Could be for two, except that the throw's going across to first in time. With Fisher moving, he pulls up safely at second, and the ball wasn't hit hard enough for Maury Wills to go anywhere except to first. So it went across the long way, 2 men out, and Christopher's coming up. Joe had the first Met hit off Osteen in the first inning. The score is tied here, 3-3. We're in the bottom half of the second inning. 2 men out and the Met runner at second base. Here's a pitch in for a called strike. Christopher out of the batter's box, conversing with umpire Bill Williams.
Hey, Sergeant, man, you have a fan that's over there.
Osteen sets and checks. Here's a pitch that's low, and it's 1-1. Osteen's pitch. Swung on and hit in the air to deep left. Lou Johnson going way back. Willie Davis racing over. This one is going. It's gone for a home run. For Joe Christopher over the left center field wall. Osteen's pitch. Swung on and hit in the air to deep left. Lou Johnson going way back. Willie Davis racing over. This one is going. It's gone for a home run. For Joe Christopher over the left center field wall. Joe Christopher with his third home run of the year, and it's the first one he's hit since May the 29th against Pittsburgh. Two-run homer, and he puts the Mets out in front here by a score of 5-3, scoring Fisher ahead of him and brings up Ron Swoboda. Jim Brewer is up and throwing again now in the bullpen, and here is the pitch low to Swoboda. Swoboda had a double to drive in a run in the first inning. had 5 hits in this game off Osteen so far in 1 2/3 innings. It's a 1-0 delivery, and it's in for a called strike, 1-1. The Mets 5 and the Los Angeles Dodgers 3. Pitch. In for a called strike. It's 1-2. The Mets victory last night over the Dodgers was victory number 40 for the Mets this year. In their first year of 1962, the Mets won only 40 games for the entire season. Second year they won 51. Last year they won 53. Here's a 1-2 pitch. In for a called strike 3. So Osteen gets the strikeout. Got Svoboda looking. The Mets got 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and none left. Score at the end of 2 full innings is the Mets 5 and the Dodgers 3. You know, from time to time during the course of the season, the Met yearbook is revised. There are new editions brought out to include new information. And the final revised edition of the Met yearbook is now available. It contains a story about interim manager Wes Westrom taking over from Casey Stengel. There's a story and a picture of Casey in the hospital on his 75th birthday with the birthday cake. There are a lot of pictures of Old Timers Day here, some of the most famous ball players in the history of the game on the field here at Shea Stadium this year. There is an up-to-date squad list, including the newest of the Mets, Dave Eilers. So if you'd like a copy of the yearbook, send 50 cents to Met Yearbook, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York. If you follow the Mets on radio or on television or in person, you'll find that the yearbook is a valuable reference volume. And if you had one early in the year, I think you'll find a lot of things in this one that you haven't seen. So if you'd like a copy, send 50 cents to Met Yearbook, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York. We're going now to the top half of the 3rd inning, and coming in here is Ralph Kiner.
Thank you, Lindsay, and hi, everyone. First man up for the Dodgers will be their leadoff batter, Maury Wells. Maury batting for the 2nd time. He singled to center field his first time up. He scored when Jim Gilliam tripled, and then Jim later on scored when Willie Davis hit the sacrifice fly to right field. Dodgers scored 2 runs on 5 pitches by Jack Fisher in the first. They added 1 more in the second when Wes Parker hit a home run. And the first pitch to Wills is bounced out in front of the plate. It hits him in the batter's box in a foul ball. Bill Williams indicating he was in the batter's box when the ball hit him. If he had been out of it, he would have been out. Maury was starting up the line. The ball hit right down in the dirt and then bounced up and got him. And Williams, the umpire behind home plate, indicates he was in the box. So it'll go as a strike. Maury has hit in 8 consecutive ball games for the Dodgers. His average now up to 294. And Fisher back, and the next pitch is bounced down to second base. A slow hopper picked up by Hiller, and he gets him by about 4 steps. 1 away in the top of the 3rd. The Mets in front 5-3, and it brings up Jim Gilliam. Gilliam with a long triple off the fence in right field his first time up. It was his 2nd triple of the year. He's now batting at .280 with 4 home runs and 28 runs batted in. And the first pitch is a changeup outside, ball 1. Jim, before the ball game, was saying, well, he had his 1 day's rest, and he was back in the lineup, and so he is at third base. Jim started this year as a coach for the Dodgers at first base. 1 ball, no strikes. Fisher back, and the fastball is lined to right. Base hit. Joe Christopher taking the ball on the first stop, and Gilliam holds at first base. So Jim with his second base hit, 2 for 2, and the Dodgers have a runner at first base with 1 out in the top of the 3rd. And the batter will be Willie Davis. Willie hit a long drive to right field, and Joe Christopher made a jumping one-hand catch to keep it for an out. A lot of hitting action in the ball game. 9 hits through 2 1/3 innings, and 8 runs scored. Fisher with Gilliam at first base, and the first pitch to Willie Davis inside a throw to first. He is safe. Now an argument Fisher, Eddie Cranepool, Chuck Hiller. And right in the middle of it, the first base umpire, Bob Ingall. Throw to first base. Cranepool with the glove right down in there. It was a close play, and the umpire, Bill Ingall, saying he beat the throw. The crew chief is over to help out the new umpire. Engel came up from the Pacific Coast League when Vinny Smith was placed on the injury list. Vinny was hurt right here in this ballpark while umpiring at first base. He tore up a knee. Back to the bench. He stays in the ball game. Also safe at first base is Jim Gilliam, and Bob Engel is getting the handkerchiefs and the booze here from the crowd at Shea Stadium. Got to have a handkerchief to come to this ballpark. Pitch to Willie Davis that Canizero threw to first base was a breaking pitch inside. So the count is 1 ball, no strikes. Willie batting .243. 6 home runs, 39 runs batted in. Gilliam with the lead. Throw to first base. He is just back in time. Jack Fisher with a fine move. One of the best in the league. Now the right-hander in the set position. And he backs off the pitching rubber, and Willie Davis backs out of the batter's box. Mets lead 5-3. Mets 5 runs, 5 hits. The Dodgers have 3 runs and 4 hits. Dodgers batting with a runner at first base, 1 out in the top of the third. Now Fisher back on top. And his next delivery has hit the left field, a base hit. Ron Pavola charging. Coming up with the ball and holding at second base is Jim Gilliam. So the Dodgers continue their onslaught, and here comes Wes Westrom, and that is going to be all for Jack Fisher. The sign out before Wes got to the foul line. Gordon Richardson, a left-hander, has been throwing in the bullpen. The indication was that it will be a left-hander, so it will be Gordon Richardson. Jack Fisher checks out with a lead 5-3, but he cannot get the victory as he would have to go 5 innings. He officially is credited with 2 1/3 innings, giving up 3 runs, charged with 5 base hits. He struck out 1 and walked none. Jack gave up 2 runs on 5 pitches in the first, had a home run hit off of him by Wes Parker in the second, and now the Dodgers with 1 away, coming up with 2 singles, and they have runners at first and second. So left-hander Gordon Richardson has been summoned in from the bullpen. Now, evidently, he has not officially been called in because the umpires are all talking with Wes Westrom, and he is still throwing in the bullpen. Wes made an indication as he went to the pitcher's mound just before he went to the foul line that he wanted the left-hand pitcher at least made that sign, but it was not interpreted. Now the sign goes out by Tom Gorman to get on in. Tom Gorman, the crew chief, indicating that he should get in here. So it will be Gordon Richardson. All the National League shows Houston and Philadelphia at the end of 1.5 innings. Bob Bruce pitching for the Astros and Ray Culp for the Phillies. No score. San Francisco and Pittsburgh at the end of 1, no score. Bob Boland pitching for the Giants against Bob Friend. Cincinnati and Milwaukee, no score at the end of 1. Same as the San Francisco-Pittsburgh game. Sammy Ellis pitching for the Reds against Denny LeMaster. Chicago scheduled at St. Louis. The starting pitchers will be Dick Ellsworth for the Cubs. Bob Gibson pitching for the St. Louis Cardinals. National League race, a mighty tight one. Dodgers Dodgers at this time leading by 1/2 game over Milwaukee, only 2 percentage points. San Francisco in third place, they trail by 1.5 games. Cincinnati in fourth place, they trail by 2.5. And Philadelphia in fifth, they trail by 5.5 games. Dodgers have been in first or tied for first in all but 16 dates of the season so far. They have never been more than 1 game behind. Now Jack Fisher getting the hand as he leads them out. Jack was in search of his 9th victory of the year. He will not be credited with either the win or the loss as he goes out of the ball game without pitching 5 innings for the win, and the potential run that would put him behind is not his, as Ron Fairley is the batter, and that will belong to Gordon Richardson. Over in the American League, New York and Minnesota for a night game. At the end of 3.5, Boston 6, Washington 2. 5 home runs in that ball game already. McMullen, King, Yastrzemski, Canigliaro, and Petrocelli. Baltimore scheduled at Chicago, Detroit at Kansas City for a night game, and Cleveland and Los Angeles for a twilight game. Morgan pitching for Cleveland, and Jack Sanford is going for the Angels. Giants scored a run in the top of the second, so they now lead over Pittsburgh by a 1-0 score as the Pirates come up in the bottom half of the second inning. Gordon Richardson is making his 21st appearance. He has a record of 1 win and 1 loss. And he'll be pitching to a left-hand batter, Ron Fairley. Gordon is 26 years of age. 6 foot tall, 185 pounds. Last year he combined to have a record at Jacksonville and St. Louis. Now he's all set to go, and his first pitch to Fairley, a curveball low and away, it's ball 1. Ron is 0 for 1 in the ball game. He grounded hard down the first his first time up. His average at 286. He has an 8-game consecutive streak going to this ball game. Ron leads the club and runs batted in with 66. 1-0 delivery is a curveball fouled out of play. All over the top. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fairley with 9 home runs, 1 short of the club leader, Lou Johnson, who is the on-deck batter. Runners at first and second base, 1 out, top of the third. The Mets in front, 5-3, defending against the 2-run lead. Now Richardson back again, and the 1-1 pitch is hit off the hands out of play. Ball again going over the top, and the count moves up to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Each club has had 1 home run. The Dodgers have hit 66 so far. 46 of their 66 have been on the road. The Mets have hit the Mets have hit 86 home runs so far this year. 1-2 on Ron Fairley, and now Richardson takes too much time, and Ron backs out of the batter's box. And the next pitch is down to second. A chance for 2 over to second base in time, but a sliding Willie Davis takes Roy McMillan out of the play, and he can't make a throw. Roy had to jump high in the air to save his life as Willie Davis came in high and hard. So the double play could not be pulled off. The force play affected at second base, and on the play, Jim Gilliam moves over to third. So now runners at first and third. The Mets have 2 away, and the batter will be Lou Johnson, who drove in the 3 runs the Dodgers had in last night's ball game. Willie Davis was down to second base in such a hurry that he got there just about the time that the backhanded throw from Chuck Hiller came over to Roy McMillan. The ball was hit fairly hard. You can tell how fast he can go. Roy had to jump high in the air to save his life. Lou Johnson, the right-hand batter, and the first pitch to him is hit to left field. A little looper might drop in. Ron Swoboda charging hard. He dives. He can't get to it. Jim Gilliam scoring from third base. A throw into second base is not in time, and Lou Johnson is safe there as Ron Fairley moves over to third. Little blooper in the left field. Ron Swoboda tried to make a diving catch. He couldn't reach it. It bounced and rolled it back at him, and Roy McMillan went out to pick it up. And his throw to second base was just not in time. So the Dodgers have their fourth run of the ball game, and they now have the tying run at third base. The go-ahead run at second base with 2 men out here in the top of the third. That run charged to Jack Fixer's record. And the batter coming up, Jim Lefevre. Jim batting from the right-hand side. He takes the first pitch. It's ball one. Next pitch, line to third, and Ron Hunt hauls it in to retire the side. In the inning, the Dodgers score a run on 3 hits. There were no errors, and 2 men were left on, and the score at the end of 2 1/2, the Mets 5, the Dodgers 4. Next, you're going to hear a lullaby. Remember to stay awake for what comes after.
Generations of Jewish children have been put to bed with this lullaby, and often they've stayed awake, quiet as mice, listening to the party. This song brings back friendly laughter and the clink of bottle against glass. And today, as yesterday, what's in the bottle is often Rheingold Extra Dry. In fact, in New York City, which has the largest Jewish community in the world, more people drink Rheingold than any other beer. How come? We don't know. But we must be doing something right. L'chaim.
Bottom half of the third, the score in favor of the Mets 5-4. Right now, we'll pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
Follow the Mets on WGY Schenectady, the voice of the Mets in the great Northeast.
Ralph Kiner along with Lindsey Nelson and Bob Murphy from Shea Stadium. First man up for the Mets here in the third will be Jim Hickman. Mets have had 13 batters so far in the ball game, and the first pitch to Jim as he bats for the second time is in for a called strike. Rod Osteen is on the mound for the Dodgers. He has given up 5 runs on 5 base hits. He has struck out 2 and walked 3, and the left-hander back again, and the ball is popped out to the mound. A 1-hopper taken by Osteen. He fires to first base for the out. So Jim is out after walking his first time up. That'll bring up the first baseman, Eddie Kranepool. Ed was involved in a very odd play his first time up. When the bases loaded, they had walked Hickman intentionally to load up the bases. Ed hit a smash down to first base. Wes Parker made a dive for it and stopped the ball. He got it in the glove. First pitch is hit in the center field, a line drive. Willie Davis charging. He makes the catch. And Willie took a knuckleball out of the air. Ball was moving back and forth as he made the play. As Wes Parker made the stop on Kranepool, he had a possible chance at first base for a play there, although the pitcher was late covering. Instead, he threw home trying to get a forced play there, and by the time he got the ball away, the runner scored easily from third base. George Christopher scoring the Mets' second run. Kranepool got a base hit on the play. It was a hard smash, and for the second time, Kranepool hit another drive, this one into center field. Now with 2 men out, the batter will be Chris Cannizzaro. Mets lead 5-4. The first pitch to Chris hit off the end of the bat down to second base. Jim Lefevre up with it over to first base. And for the first time in the ball game, the Dodgers get the Mets out in order 1-2-3. Very fast inning. And the score at the end of 3, the Mets 5, the Dodgers 4. Here's a bit of advice about your car that may come in handy.
A driving tip from Shell. Your car may be losing up to 15% of its power because of spark plug misfire. Here's an easy spark plug test you can make yourself, courtesy of your local Shell dealer.
Next time you're behind the wheel, pick out a nice, long, straight upgrade. Make sure the road is clear, then accelerate wide open, right up to the legal speed limit. See if your car picks up speed smoothly. If it seems to stumble as it gathers speed, or you feel your engine hesitate, you may have spark plug misfire.
See your Shell dealer. He'll replace worn and misfiring spark plugs and recommend that you use Super Shell gasoline. Super Shell contains famous TCP additive to fight spark plug misfire. TCP can actually double the life of your spark plugs. So keep your plugs in shape with Super Shell. Visit your local Shell dealer. At Shell, service is our business.
It's the top of the 4th inning. The Mets has run 5-4. The Dodgers coming up against Gordon Richardson. The starting pitcher was Jack Fisher. Jack was knocked out of the box with one man out in the 3rd. Gordon took over, and he is now working in his 2nd inning. He'll be pitching to Wes Parker. Wes batting from the right-hand side for the first time in the ball game. He had a home run from the left-hand side his first time up. And he takes the first pitch low. It's ball 1. And the next pitch back is called a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Parker's home run is 7th this year. And at 1-1, the pitch is inside and low. The ball in the dirt, and it's ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Parker has an average of 241. His home run came with no one on, so he has now driven in 41 runs. He'll be followed to the plate by Johnny Roseboro and the pitcher Claude Osteen. Osteen is a good hitter. There's no action in the bullpen as the Dodgers trail 5-4 as they bat in the top of the 4th. Next pitch is swung on and fouled. Ball going back, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Action has been fast and furious so far through the first 3 innings. 9 runs and 11 base hits. 2 home runs, 1 triple. 1 double by the Dodgers, 1 double by the Mets. 2-2 delivery is hit hard to the ground in the hole. Backhanded by McMillan. He can't get him, can he? He gets him, and what a play. Wes Parker, who can go down the line, thrown out deep on the grass by Roy McMillan, and you have just heard about a play that you have to see to believe. Just about couldn't be possible because Parker can go down the line, and Roy got enough on it deep in the hole, back in the grass to make the play. Well, McMillan, who's been doing a yeoman's job with his bat, still continues to do the same with his glove. His first pitch to Johnny Roseboro, swung on a miss at strike 1. At the end of 2, San Francisco 1, Pittsburgh 1. At the end of 2, Cincinnati nothing, Milwaukee nothing. At the end of 2, Houston nothing, Philadelphia nothing. Next pitch is fouled over the top of the screen. Strike 2 as Gordon Richardson comes back again with a fastball. 2-strike count on the left-hand batter, Johnny Roseboro. Johnny playing his first game since being hit in the head by Juan Marischal's bat. Roseboro batting at 219. Next pitch is bounced towards first base. Cranepool charges, hits the ball nicely on the first hop, and then has an easy play at the back. 2 men away as Cranepool, by charging the ball, turned a tough chance into an easy one. That'll bring up the pitcher, Claude Osteen. Claude struck out his first time up. Mets lead 5-4. They trail in base hits 6-5. Third game of this 4-game series. Each team winning 1. Mets turning one around in the bottom half of the 9th inning last night to win 4-3 by scoring 3 runs. First pitch is low and away. It's ball 1. Tomorrow, the final game of the year between the Mets and Dodgers is going to be a big one. Sandy Koufax to pitch for the Dodgers. He's 21-5 with 296 strikeouts. He'll be opposed by Tug McGraw, who is looking for his second victory of the year. He got his first his last time up against the Cardinals. Next pitch back is in for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Doug was asked about his pitching assignment against Koufax. He says, oh, it can't be too tough. He's not such a good hitter. He also said that he thought he had about 300 more wins in his arm after he won his first ball game. He's that kind of a guy. High fly ball hit the center field. Jim Hickman waiting. And now he makes the catch and that retires the side. 1, 2, 3 for Gordon Richardson. And the score at the end of 3 1/2. The Mets 5, the Dodgers 4. Now once again, we're moving along in a fine ball game. Now you're going to hear music that even Sammy is by. If you want to drink a little beer with it, that's all right with us.
Spaniards in New York City have brought us the sounds of Andalusia and the Basque provinces in songs like Yo Te Daré. You'll hear this song in places where you can savor chorizos and ensamidas. And as the rhythm and your thirst quicken, it may be that you'll call for more cerveza Rheingold. It's a fact that in New York City, where there are more Spaniards than in Almazan, more people drink Rheingold Extra Dry than any other beer. ¿Por qué? ¿Quién sabe? But we must be doing something right.
The bottom half of the 4th inning. Big banner up on the upper deck facade. Let's go Mets. Stop on L.A. There's some beauties around here tonight. First man up for the Mets here as they lead 5-4 against Todd Osteen will be Chuck Hiller, and he takes a pitch over the top of his head. It's ball 1. Banner down the left field side. The Dodgers have Maury. The Giants had Juan. But we're not sorry because we've got Ron. Next pitch is in there for a strike. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Interesting that the past tense on Juan Marichal is used about the Giants. Now the 1-1 pitch. It's down low, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike. Chuck Hiller batting for the second time in the ball game. He hit into a double play his first time up. The Mets scored 3 in the first on 3 hits. Hiller bouncing back to the mound, taken by Osteen, who is a good fielder. His throw to first base picks up the first out in the bottom half of the 4th. That'll bring up Jack Fisher, who singled in the, should say, Jack Fisher's successor. Jack singled his first time up. The batter now coming up is Gordon Richardson. Jack, the starting pitch in the ball game, went 2 1/3 innings, was charged with 4 runs on 5 base hits. Richardson came in the game in the 3rd with 1 man out, and he has given up no runs and 1 base hit. He takes the first pitch. It's ball 1. And the next pitch is in for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Richardson is 0 for 1 in National League play this year. Right-hand batter, a left-hand pitcher. Now Osteen back at 1-1, and the pitch is swung on and fouled off. A good swing by Richardson. Mets lead 5-4. Sign down the left field line. Rheingold beer is quite a delight. Come on, Mets, do something right. 1-2 pitch is fouled off the hand of Johnny Roseboro. Now he's taking a look. Now he's going right to the dugout. Johnny Roseboro, after taking that foul tip of the hand, is walking right to the dugout, mask on, and walking straight on over. Walt Austin coming over to take a look. Johnny's right hand was injured in that melee in San Francisco. It was either injured when he threw a punch or when someone stepped on him. He doesn't know exactly when. It was all puffed up and bruised up. And now a group around Johnny Roseboro, and coming out to warm up and keep the pitcher warm is Wally Moon. Walt Austin looking down toward his bullpen and indicating that he might call in Jeff Torborg, and now Jeff is coming in from the bullpen. So Roseborough, who has been pretty well whacked up of late, getting a foul tip, and it's going to be all for John as he goes right into the clubhouse. That is all for Johnny Roseborough. And we'll give you a report on it as soon as we find out from the Dodger clubhouse exactly how serious the injury is. The catcher coming in will be Jeff Torborg, who usually catches against left-hand pitching. At the end of 2.5 innings, Houston nothing, Philadelphia nothing. Bob Bruce against Ray Culp. At the end of 2, San Francisco won, Pittsburgh won. The game tied up by Clendenin with a home run. Bob Boland against Bob Friend. Frank Robinson has hit a 2-run home run in the top of the third, so Cincinnati leads Milwaukee 2-0. They're still batting. Sammy Ellis pitching for the Reds against Kenny LeMaster. Starting pitcher Chicago at St. Louis, Dick Ellsworth against Bob Gibson. In the American League, the Yankees out in the first with no runs. Minnesota coming up against Al Downing. Merritt is pitching for the Twins. At the end of 5 innings, Boston 7, Washington 2. Coplett has replaced McCormick for Washington. Wilson pitching for the Red Sox. Baltimore scored a run in the first. Chicago now coming up against Milt Pappas. Gary Peters pitching for the White Sox. Starting pitchers Detroit and Kansas City. Joe Sparma against Hunter for the Athletics. And Cleveland at Los Angeles at Kawhi Snyder. The starting pitcher Steve Hargan against Jack Sanford. Now to catch in the ball game, Jeff Torborg replacing Johnny Roseborough. The count is 1-2 on the batter Gordon Richardson. Otto Steen on the mound for the Dodgers. The Mets lead here 5-4 with 1 out in the bottom half of the 4th. And the next pitch is bounced foul. So the count will hold at 1-2. Those of you keeping score, Jeff Torborg will bat in the 8th batting position, taking Johnny Roseborough's place. The next pitch is outside. Gordon looking for his first hit this year, right-hand batter. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. And the next pitch is hit down toward third base. It is just foul. Dug out by Jim Gilliam. Richardson, who had gone down to first base, will now return to the home plate area. The Mets will have Ron Hunt up next, and he is in the on-deck circle. Mets 5 runs on 5 hits. The Dodgers 4 runs and 6. 1 out in the bottom half of the 4th. And the 2-2 delivery is in there, called strike 3. Second out for the Dodgers here in the bottom half of the 4th. That's the 3rd strikeout for Otto Steen. And it brings up Ron Hunt. Ron has walked and struck out his 2 times. Up his average at .234. This is his 25th game this year. Ball game got off to a fast pace as the Dodgers scored 2 in the first. The Mets came back to score 3 to take the lead 3-2. The Dodgers then tied it up in the top of the second at 3-3. Mets then scored 2 in the bottom half of the second to take the lead 5-3. Dodgers scored 1 run in the top of the third to make it 5-4. Since then, it's slowed down. Change up to Ron Hunt is outside. It's ball 1. Bottom half of the third, no score for the Mets. In the top of the 4th, no score for the Dodgers. And now with 2 out in the bottom half of the 4th, no score. The 1-0 delivery is swung on and missed. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch is taken inside, ball 2. Sign up on the upper deck down the left field line. North Merrick loves the Mets, done in many colors. Another sign we saw earlier, it's not up right now. Happy birthday, Choo-Choo. balls, 1 strike. And the pitch back to Ron Hunt. It mounts to the middle. It's going to be a base hit. On going down to first base and holding there is Willie Davis. Throws the ball on back in. So the Mets have a base hit in the bottom half of the fourth as they lead 5-4. And the batter coming up is Roy McMillan. What a play Roy made on Wes Parker in the top of the fourth. Hits are all even at 6 apiece now. The Mets lead 5-4 and run. First pitch is a hit and run play. Ball swung on and fouled over the top. Ron Hunt running as hard as he could, slid into second base, not knowing where the ball was. He'll have to come on back down to first. He still doesn't know the ball is fouled off. Standing right on second base, and he says to Tom Gorman, as Tom motions for him to go back to first, why didn't you tell me? Walking back toward first base with both hands extended, palms up. Just to say, well, I was running on the plate. Just tell me what to do. One strike count of Roy McMillan. Ron was stealing all the way on that one. Usually on the hit and run play, of course, there are 2 outs. Ron just a step away from the bag draws the throw. The runner will take a look to see where the ball is hit. Because if it's hit in the air, he has to get back to first. Now at 1 strike, the pitch is a curveball that's taken in. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch was inside. On the message board, tomorrow's pitchers, Koufax versus McGraw. At 8 p.m., Sandy 21-5. Throw to first base, Hunt back ahead of the tag. And Sandy in a position to set a new strikeout league record. He has 296. The National League record is 306. Held by Sandy Koufax. The 1-1 delivery hits down toward third base. It's in fair territory. Backhanded by Gilliam. A long throw in time to retire the side. Jim Gilliam turning a long throw loose. Was plenty of arc on it to get Roy McMillan to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left to score at the end of 4. The Mets 5, the Dodgers 4. And once again, here's Lindsey Nelson.
Okay, Ralph, after the Dodgers and Giants have been in here at Shea Stadium for their final appearances, the Houston Astros will be coming in, and they have a couple of games to make up. Games that were rained out earlier. It was the Sunday before the All-Star break that Houston was in here scheduled to play a Sunday doubleheader, and it was washed away, so those 2 games will be made up on the upcoming appearance of Houston with back-to-back doubleheaders. On Tuesday night, August 31st, Mets and Houston will play a twilight doubleheader starting at 6 p.m. Then the following afternoon, September 1st, it'll be an afternoon doubleheader starting at 1 p.m. Then the series will be concluded with a single afternoon game on September 2nd. That'll start at 2 p.m., of course, and it'll be 5 games in 3 days. And that series will close out this current homestand. Through the first 4 innings here, it's the Mets 5 runs on 6 hits and no errors. The Dodgers 4 runs on 6 hits and no errors. And it'll be top of the batting order up for the Dodgers, Maury Wills. Gordon Richardson, a left-hander on the mound for the Mets, so that'll turn the switch hitter around, and Wills will be batting right-handed. He's 1 for 2. Ron Hunt is even with the edge of the grass at third to protect against the bunt possibility. Gordon Richardson with the pitch. Low for a ball as Wills was bluffing a bunt, and that brought Hunt on stepping through at third. It's ball 1. Now the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and fouled off. It's 1-1. In the Met bullpen, Darrell Sutherland is throwing. He's just loosening up for his scheduled appearance Friday night. Darrell Sutherland is scheduled to start for the Mets Friday night against the Giants, who are scheduled to start Warren Spahn. Here's a 1-1 delivery, swung on and fouled off. Out of play, and it's 1-2. Richardson starts to work. Pitch misses outside. 2-2 now. At Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, at the end of 3 innings, the Pirates 2, the Giants 1. Bob Boland against Bob Friend. Now Richardson's 2-2 delivery. Swung on and fouled back out of play. Count holds at 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Check swing, foul ball. Bounces into the seats and out of play. Count holds it 2-2 to Maury Wills, the captain of the Dodgers. Pitch swung on and line foul down the right field line, out of play. Count holds it 2-2. The end of 3 innings of play at County Stadium in Milwaukee. Cincinnati Reds 2 and the Milwaukee Braves 1. Sammy Ellis against Denver LeMaster. Frank Robinson had a 2-run homer for Cincinnati in the top of the third, and the Braves picked up a run in the bottom of the third. This pitch is high. It's a full count now to Wills. To put Wills on is bad news. Man who has stolen 80 bases this season. Richardson looks to Canizero for his sign. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on it on the ground to third. Big hop up to Ron Hunt across the diamond in time, and Wills is out third to first. Brings up switch hitting third baseman Jim Gilliam, who has tripled to drive in a run, singled, and scored himself both times. Remember, Viceroy is not too strong, not too light. Viceroy has got the filter for the taste that's right. One man out, nobody on base. And the pitch is in for a called strike. Strike one delivery, low for a ball, 1-1. Jack Fisher started for the Mets, worked an inning and a third. Relieved by Gordon Richardson, who comes now with the 1-1 pitch. It's hit in the air to center field, and Jim Hickman glides over. He's underneath and waiting, and he makes the catch. 2 men out, and that'll bring on Willie Davis. Had a sacrifice fly to right to drive in a run in the first inning. Base hit in the third. Davis batting number 3 in the Dodger batting order tonight, because the batting order was made up with a right-hand pitcher in mind. With a right-hand pitcher in mind. Fastball inside for ball 1 to Richardson. One-0 delivery. Swung on, hit underground foul, back at first base. Down to 1-1. We have the report now on John Roseborough, who came out of the ball game. He split the middle finger of his right hand. It was an old injury, so he simply opened it up again. No stitches were taken, but he marched right to the dugout the moment it occurred. Here's a pitch launted on the ground at first base. It's bobbled by Cranepool, and he can't make a play, and Willie Davis is on. It's an error charged against Cranepool. He charged the ground ball. It dropped out of his glove and in front of him, and he gave chase, could not get to it. Willie Davis becomes the runner at first. Ron Fairley coming up now. Grounded out and hit into a fourth place so far. Two men on the runner at first, with the Mets leading the Dodgers by a score of 5-4, and we're in the top half of the fifth inning. Gordon Richardson pitched to Fairley, and it's low for a ball. Lou Johnson waiting on deck. Cranepool is holding against the runner at first. Willie Davis has stolen 20 bases. He's off and running. The pitch is in for a strike. The throw to second. He's out at second base. Canizaro's throw right on the money. McMillan made the tag. It went 2-6 if you score it. And it is the sixth time this year that he has been caught stealing. The side is out, no runs, no hits, one error, none left. Score at the end of 4.5 innings is the Mets 5, the Dodgers 4, and now it's time for another unusual fact from the Viceroy Hall of Records. You know, the umpires around the league today keep themselves pretty well covered. They wear face masks, shin guards, chest protectors, all an umpire's usual armor. But you know what the umpire of the first baseball game in Berlin, Germany wore? A real suit of armor. Sure would like to have seen that. But there's something you're seeing around lately, I'm sure. More and more fans are smoking Viceroy. And no wonder. Viceroy is specifically designed to taste the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, like some brands that taste as if they didn't have a filter, and not too light, like some others. You know the kind. They just don't seem to satisfy your taste. But when you light up a Viceroy, you get the filter cigarette that's not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the filter for the taste that's right.
Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Not too strong and not too light. So taste that's right.
We're going to the bottom of the fifth, but first we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
Follow the Mets on WGY Schenectady, the voice of the Mets in the great Northeast.
Christopher has singled and homered so far in this game. Hitting number 3 in the batting order tonight against left-hand pitcher Claude O'Shea. Here's a swing and a miss, and it's 1-1 to Christopher.
Here's the pitch. Low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Ron Swoboda is on deck. Now Osteen's pitch, and it's in there for a called strike. 1-2 to Christopher. The Mets have 5 runs on 6 hits. The Dodgers have 4 runs on 6 hits. Pitch is low. 2-2 now to Christopher. Osteen has struck out 3 and walked 3 so far tonight. This is a 2-2 pitch. Swung and on the ground to short. Maury Wills gets the hop. Places across to Wes Parker, and Christopher is grounded out short to first. That brings up Ron Swoboda. He had a first inning double to drive in a run. He was called out on strikes in the second inning. Osteen's pitch. This is outside for ball 1 to Ron Swoboda. Jim Hickman has moved out to the on-deck circle. It's in for a called strike. 1-1. Trailing the Pirates by 1 run as they play in the 4th inning at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. They're going to the bottom of the 4th now. Still bowling against Friend there. Now the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled off. Start to play 1 and 2. And going to the bottom of the 4th at County Stadium in Milwaukee, the Cincinnati Reds lead the Milwaukee Braves 2-1. Only 2.5 games separating the top 4 teams in the National League at this moment. Less than that separated the top 4 teams on the last day of the season last year. Here's a 1-2 pitch, and it's low for a ball. 2-2. Osteen started out shakily. The Mets picked up 3 runs in the first inning and 2 in the second. He got the side in order in the third, gave up 1 hit in the fourth. Here's a swing at a high fly ball. The left center, Lou Johnson, moves in, and he makes the catch. So there's 2 men out, and Jim Hickman will be the batter. He was walked intentionally with first base open in the first inning. And he grounded out pitcher to first in the third inning. Two men out and nobody on. Osteen looks for the sign. Pitch is swung on and it in the air to right, and moving back is Fairley. He's going to the wall. It's off the wall in play. Hickman's on his way to second, and he'll go in standing with a double off the wall in right field. Over the head of Ron Fairley. Did not hit very high off the wall, and Fairley was able to trap it as it came off. He was in the warning track. But it's a double to right for Jim Hickman. Up Ed Cranepool, who off the left-hander has had a base hit to Wes Parker at first. And last time up, he lined the ball to Willie Davis in center. He was slicing away from Davis, but he got over to make the grab. It was a well-hit ball. Osteen's pitch to the left-hand batter is low and away for a ball. With the bases loaded in the first inning, Cranepool smashed the ball to Puncher, who made a backhand stab going towards the line, was on his knees, got up and made the play at the plate much too late to get Christopher, who scored with what was at that time the tying run. It was scored as a base hit for Ed Cranepool and a run batted in. Here's a 1-0 delivery. Swung on and lined into right field, and it's in there for a base hit. Hickman is rounding third. He's coming home. Slips down. The ball rolls to the wall. Cranepool's on his way to third base. Willie Davis comes up with it, plays it in. No play made on Cranepool, holding his third. And the Mets lead by a score of 6-4. Ron Fairley is going to get some attention as the trainer comes out of the Dodger dugout and runs out there to see about his shoulder. Fairley is holding his left shoulder as he slipped down, and now has his hand over there near the collarbone and shoulder. It scored as a triple for Ed Cranepool, and a run batted in as Jim Hickman scored, and the Mets lead 6-4, and apparently Ron Fairley figures he's all right. Jim Lefevre, the second baseman, had gone out there as well. Manager Walter Austin is going to the mound. He is concerned with deficiencies in other areas. Cranepool's done all right against the left-hander. He smashed that ball to right center, and as Fairley went over, he slipped down, and the ball went all the way to the wall. So scored as a triple and a run batted in. Austin is at the mound now. Stein goes to the bullpen, and we're going to get a pitching change right here. He's had Jim Brewer throwing out there. we're getting the pitching change right here with Austin still talking to Osteen. It is Jim Brewer who has come through the gate. Brewer will have the long walk in, and then he'll warm up. So as he does come in to bring us up to date on all the baseball action elsewhere, here's Bob Murphy.
All right, Lindsay, at Connie Mack Stadium tonight, where the Phillies are now just 5.5 games out of first place. It's Houston nothing, Philadelphia nothing at the end of 4. Bob Bruce is on the mound for the Astros, and Ray Culp is pitching for Philadelphia. Big game tonight in Pittsburgh. The Pirates 2 and the Giants 1 at the end of 4 innings. Bob Boland pitching against Bob Friend. Friend shut out the Milwaukee Braves his last time out. The Pirates are a hot ball club. They beat the Braves 3 out of 4 in Pittsburgh at a time that the Braves were sizzling hot. And they beat the Giants last night. The Pittsburgh Pirates are only 6.5 games out of first place. So it's Pittsburgh 2 and the Giants 1 at the end of 4. The Giants are a game and a half back. Cincinnati on a 2-run homer by Frank Robinson, leading Milwaukee 2-1 after 3.5 innings. Sammy Ellis going for his 17th. His mound opponent is Denny LeMaster. The Reds, a game and a half out. The Braves, a half game out. Chicago nothing, St. Louis nothing at the end of 2. Dick Ellsworth and Bob Gibson are the pitchers. In the American League, the Yankees playing at Minnesota. Al Downing against Merritt. No score at the end of 2. They've had an amazing number of home runs tonight in Fenway Park. 8 home runs have been hit in the first 6 innings of the ball game. The Red Sox are leading Washington by a score of 8-3. Practically every home run hit has been hit with the bases empty, with a singular exception. Or check that, with 2 exceptions. Yastrzemski hit a home run with a man on. Well, that's the only one with anybody on. The other 7 have been with the bases clear. Rico Petrocelli had 3 home runs yesterday, and the rookie shortstop has hit another one tonight. That string of home runs: McMullen, King, Yastrzemski, Canigliaro, Petrocelli, Mantilla, Howard, and Tillman. Baltimore won, Chicago won at the end of 2. Detroit and Kansas City just getting underway. Cleveland won, the Angels nothing at the end of an inning and a half in the first game of a twilighter. Now we're set for the action again here, and here again is Lindsay.
Okay, Bob, there are 2 men out. The Mets are batting in the bottom half of the 5th inning, leading 6-4. Chris Canizaro is at the plate. Eddie Cranepool is the runner at third. Jim Brewer with the pitch. And it's low for a ball. Jeff Tormore blocks the ball up the third base line. No advance. Jim Brewer is making his 16th appearance of the season. He has a record of 2 wins and 2 losses. He has an earned run average of 2.25. He's a left-hand pitcher. Pitched only 39 2/3 innings. He's given up 30 hits and 13 runs. Brewer looks in to get a sign from Jeff Torborg. And the 1-0 pitch is in there for a called strike. It's 1-1. Delivery. Right low and inside as Torborg had to move inside to glove it. It's 2-1. Osteen pitched 4 2/3 innings in which he was touched for 6 runs on 7 hits. He struck out 3 and walked 3. And here is a pitch that is outside for a ball. They've got 8 hits. That last one by Cranepool into the total makes it 8. Off Osteen. 3-1 pitch now to Chris Canizaro. It's on the way. Outside, he walked it. So Canizaro goes to first. Cranepool holds it third, and left-hand batter Chuck Hiller is coming up. Hiller has hit into a double play and grounded out pitcher to first so far tonight. Mets are leading by a score of 6-4. touch, checks, and deals. And the pitch is low, and it's bounding out back and into the stands. The run scores. Moving to second is Hiller. It's a wild pitch. A wild pitch charged against Brewer. It bounded off the shin guard of Torborg, way back, took a bounce in front of the stands, and actually went into the seat to the home plate side of the Dodger dugout. The wild pitch allows Craneville to score from third, and Canizero moves to second. One ball, it got to Hiller, and the Mets lead 7-4. That run is charged against Osteen. That's in for a strike to Hiller, 1-1. So far, the Mets have picked up 2 runs here in the bottom half of the fifth. Now 1-1 pitch. Swung on and hit in the air to right field. Down the line, Fairley moves over, and he's in fair territory waiting, and he makes the catch. So the side is out, and Hiller flies to right. That's got 2 runs on 2 hits after 2 are out. Hiller is in 1 left, 1 wild pitch, and the score's into 5 full innings is. The Mets 7 and the Dodgers 4. Well, last year, most baseball fans figured that the National League had the finest pennant race you could ever possibly have. Because on the next to the last day of the season, there were still 4 clubs that could win the pennant. The Cardinals, the Giants, the Reds, and the Phils. But on the Saturday, preceding the final day, the Giants were eliminated. But on the last day of the season, there were 3 clubs that could win the pennant. This year's pennant race seems to be headed in just about the same direction. Starting play tonight, only 2.5 games separated the top 4 teams in the National League. 6.5 games separated the top 6 teams in the National League. So it seems to be that we're going to have the same sort of race. The Dodgers are in here now, and they'll be here tomorrow night. And the Giants come in for a weekend series. But the Milwaukee Braves are still much in contention. They're only 2 percentage points out right now, and they'll be here on September 10th, 11th, and 12th. Then the Cincinnati Reds on the 14th, 15th, and 16th. Pittsburgh Pirates on the 28th and 29th. And the Philadelphia Phillies will close the season here on October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So we still have a lot of interesting baseball for you to see here at Shea Stadium, so you can make up your own mind from first-hand information on how you think this particular season is going to go right down to the wire. Ron Fairley's up for the Dodgers in the top of the 6th. And the pitch by Gordon Richardson is in for a called strike. The Mets have 7 runs in this game. It is the most runs the Mets have had against the Dodgers since June the 5th, 1964, when they scored 8 in the 4th game against the Dodgers last year. Pitch is outside, 1-1 now to Ron Fairley. Richardson with a 1-1 pitch. Swung on, and it popped up out toward the mound, and Richardson is going to take it himself. He looked for somebody to come and get it, and nobody did. It isn't usual that the pitcher fields the ball there. If the first baseman can get over, he usually takes it. He's the man with the big glove. Canizero didn't go out. Craneville didn't come over. Hunt came part way, and Gordon Richardson made the catch of the pop on the first base side of the mound. 1 away, and now it'll be Lou Johnson up. Last time up, Johnson doubled a drive and a run. He popped out to first base his first time up. In for a called strike 1 as left-hander Gordon Richardson dipped that one into the right-hand batter. Johnson walks back now to get a handful of dirt. He also wants the rosin bag, and he gets that. Strike 1 pitch. Swung on it on the ground, and at shortstop, McMillan gets a big hop. He plays across the Craneville, and there are 2 men out. That ball was smashed hard, but it was hopping, and McMillan got the big hop and played it across. Jim Lefebvre is the batter. Grounded out and lined out. He hit one on the button in the 3rd inning to Ron Hunt at third base. Charlie Smith is still out of action. Considerable soreness in his left arm where he was hit by the pitch ball thrown by Tracy Stallard last Sunday. Pitch is inside, ball one. Now the 1-0 delivery. This is outside, 2-0. The possibility that Charlie Smith may be able to play by Saturday. Pitch. In there for a call strike. The Fever was taking, and it's 2-1. Swinging a ground ball, and Hiller comes up with it, throws on, and in time. Chuck Hiller moving to his right. They glove the ground ball on a shortstop and play on to first. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. Scoresheet into 5.5. Is the Mets 7 and the Dodgers 4. Yedzi voted something you row or sail, you sing it like this.
Jedź Bot is a song that gets sung over and over at Polish parties and picnics until the singers raise a fearful thirst. Then they change their tune. Piwo is the traditional Polish call for beer, and often it's Rheingold Extra Dry they call for. In fact, in New York City, where there are more Poles than in all of Świdnica, more people drink Rheingold than any other beer. Why do Polish Americans like Rheingold? We don't know, but we must be doing something right.
In the bottom half of the sixth inning, the New York Mets will have pitcher Gordon Richardson up to lead off, although he's a left-hand pitcher. He's a right-hand batter. Facing left-handed Jim Brewer. And the pitch is outside for a ball. Jim Brewer delivers, and the pitch is low. Touch and work. It's high for a ball. He goes behind 3-0. Ron Hutt waiting around on deck for the Mets. So it takes a moment. Now the pitch. It's in there for a call strike, 3-1. Delivery. In for a call, strike two. He was taking both the pitches. Counts out full now. The Mets 7, the Dodgers 4 on the bottom of the sixth. Payoff pitch. Swung out and missed, struck him out. First strikeout for Jim Brewer. He got Gordon Richardson swinging. Ron Hunt coming up. Walked, struck out, and had a ground single up the middle. Jim Brewer working here in relief of Claude Osteen. The Dodgers are a little strapped in the bullpen. Bob Miller came up with a sore arm today, but he couldn't straighten it out. Ron Peronoski still has trouble walking. He has a pull muscle, thigh muscle. Here's a pitch low for a ball, 1-0. So the Dodgers figure they're a little short-handed in the bullpen. to Hunt. Misses outside, and it's 2-0. The Dodgers tonight got 2 runs in the top half of the first inning. The Mets came back to get 3 in the bottom half of the first. And the Dodgers got another one to even it up in the top of the second, but the Mets got 2 in the bottom of the second. The Dodgers got 1 in the third, and the Mets got 2 in the fifth. Swinging a foul ball back off the screen and out of play. 2-1 to Hunt. Willie Davis of the Dodgers is considered by many to be the fastest man in baseball. He has stolen 20 bases this year. He has been caught stealing only 6 times this year, 4 of those times by Chris Cannizzaro. 2-1 pitch. Swung on, foul back, out of play. 2-2 now to Ron Hunt. One away, nobody on base for the Mets batting here in the bottom of the sixth. And the 2-2 delivery. Inside. The count is out full at 3-2. McMillan's waiting on deck as Brewer delivers the payoff pitch. Swung on and hit in the air to center field. Willie Davis hangs right there and makes the catch. 2 men out, nobody on, and Roy McMillan is coming up. Flies to center, grounded out short to first, and grounded out third to first. McMillan turned in a fantastic play on Wes Parker in the 4th inning. But the thing about it is, McMillan does that sort of thing day after day after day. He went into the hole and then got enough on the ball to get Parker, who again is one of the fastest men in the game. Here's a pitch high for a ball. 1-0. And he got him at first so that it wasn't close, really. Had him by a good margin. 1-0 pitch to McMillan. Outside for a ball. 2-0. McMillan is in his 15th season in the Major League. Delivery. And it's low. Jim Brewer goes behind. 3 balls and no strikes. This is a 3-0 pitch. Taken in there for a called strike. 3-1. Pay to tennis tonight, 32,432. Attendance 33,305. Here's a pitch low, and McMillan draws a walk. First walk issued by Brewer. McMillan goes first, and Joe Christopher is coming up. Single, homered, and grounded out short to first. So far, the 3-game series to this point. First 3 games of the 4-game set between the Mets and the Dodgers. Drawn a paid attendance total of 102,848. Pitch to Christopher. He's in there for a strike. Checks and deals. Pitch is swung on line into left field for another Christopher base hit. Lou Johnson comes up with it, plays it back. McMillan holds it second. Christopher's on with a single to left. The Mets have runners first and second. 2 men out, and Ron Swoboda is coming up. Double to drive and a run in the first inning. Called out on strikes in the second and flies to left in the fifth. At County Stadium in Milwaukee, the Braves have come up with 2 runs in the bottom of the fifth on a 2-run homer by Mac Jones. So that going to the 6th inning, it is the Braves 3 and the Cincinnati Reds 2. And at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, going to the bottom half of the sixth inning. It is now the Giants 2 and the Pirates 2. The Giants scored one in the sixth to tie it. Right here, the Mets are leading the Dodgers by a score of 7-4 and threatening. Jim Gilliam came over to have a word with pitcher Jim Brewer, and now Gilliam, on instruction from the dugout, goes back to the mound again. Pitching coach, manager Walter Austin waved him back out there. Now Gilliam comes back to his position at third. In the bullpen, John Burton and Nick Wilhite. Here's the pitch, and it's a breaking ball in there for a call strike. Pulled the string on him, and Ramona stepped out for a moment. Brewer starting Swoboda off with an off-speed pitch. Now low for a ball. It's 1-1. The end of 3 innings, the Yankees nothing, the Minnesota Twins nothing. Final score, Boston 8, Washington 3. One and one to count to Ron Swoboda. McMillan, the runner at second, and Christopher, the runner at first base, with 2 men out. Low, he goes behind, 2-1 to Swoboda. Here's the 2-1 delivery. For Hunter, line to short, taken by Maury Wills, a line shot. And Swoboda flips the bat up into the air as he heads on out to his position. He hit that one on the button, but right at Maury Wills. For the Mets, no runs. 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. Score at the end of 6 full innings is the Mets 7 and the Dodgers 4. Bob Murphy is coming along now to detail the play-by-play and also for a word about the World's Fair. Robert?
All right, Lindsay. Where are you planning to visit the World's Fair this year? Get a free Shell World's Fair map and walking guide from your Shell dealer. It's the only map of the World's Fair that tells you how much time you need to walk from place to place and see the things you want to see. How long will you spend at the Ford Pavilion? What's the quickest way from the Unisphere to the Belgian Village? How long does the Swiss Sky Ride take? Will you have time to see the free Florida water ski show? How many minutes will you take to walk from the Spanish Pavilion to General Motors? How long do the fireworks last? Well, don't guess. You can get all the answers from the free Shell World's Fair map and walking guide. The only map of the World's Fair that tells you how much time you need to go where you want and see what you want. Make the most of your time at the fair. Ask your Shell dealer for a World's Fair map and walking guide. You can't buy these maps, but they're free while stocks last at all your local Shell stations. Another service from your Shell dealer. Service is his business. Right here we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network. Wes Parker leading off against Gordon Richardson in the 7th inning. He bluffs at a bunt, outside and high, ball one. Dodgers have the tail end of their batting order hitting in the 7th. Walter Alston has Johnny Padres warming in the bullpen.
Schenectady, the smoothest sound around. The voice of the Mets in the great Northeast. Follow the Mets on WGY Schenectady, the voice of the Mets in the great Northeast.
Richardson came on to relieve starting pitcher Jack Fisher in the 3rd inning.
Gordon swings out of his windup. The pitch, a grounder hit down to third. Big hop for Hunt, fielded near the bag. The long throw in time. Parker is out on the grounder. One away and nobody on. Now hitting for the first time in the ball game is Jeff Torborg. Jeff took over behind the plate when Johnny Roseborough had the misfortune to split a finger on his throwing hand. Reopened an old injury. Injury-wise, it's been a tough night for the Dodgers. It's in at the knees for a called strike. Ron Fairley fell in the outfield and injured his shoulder. However, it was not serious, and Ron was able to stay in the ballgame, but it could be quite sore by tomorrow. Outside and high. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jeff Torborg. Jeff hitting .263, right-hand batter. He has been playing against southpaw pitching. Now the 1-1 delivery. Whacked foul, back up into the crowd, no play. The last 2 weeks of the season, the Dodgers will be playing at home at Dodger Stadium against Cincinnati, Milwaukee, and St. Louis. Be a lot of excitement generated from the West Coast, the closing days of the pennant race. Ground ball rolling to short. To his glove side is McMillan. He comes up throwing in time. Another big night in the field for Roy McMillan. 2 outs, nobody on. And John Kennedy is coming up now to bat for Jim Brewer. Third baseman John Kennedy, a right-hand hitter, is the pitch batter. Batting for pitcher Jim Brewer. Dodgers 3 runs back, and so skipper Walter Alston goes to his bench now to try and get something going against Gordon Richardson. Here's the windup by the tall left-hander, and the pitch is over on the inside corner for a call strike. Gordon Richardson is from Colquitt, Georgia. Analyzing off-speed pitch that's way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Veteran left-hander Johnny Padre is getting ready in the Dodger bullpen. He'll be in the ball game in the last half of the inning. Line shot that's foul down the left field line. Got a little too far out in front of the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This is the first year in the 4 years the Mets have won as many as 4 ball games in a year from the Dodgers. Tonight they're trying to make it number 5. Pitching 1 and 2. Inside on the pinch batter, John Kennedy in the count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitching 2 and 2. Inside and low, and now the string is out, 3 and 2. The Mets have 7 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. The Dodgers 4 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. Now the pitch on the way. A swing and a miss. He struck him out. Gordon Richardson with a good sinker gets John Kennedy, and the Dodgers are out in the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left. At the end of 6.5 innings, the score of the New York Mets 7, the Los Angeles Dodgers 4. Say, if you've been wondering what Swedish Americans sing after the smorgasbord, listen to this.
Is a song that Swedish Americans sing over and over at their parties and picnics until they raise a fearful thirst. Then they change their tune. Halon Gore is a traditional Swedish drinking song, and often the beer they drink is Rheingold Extra Dry.
In fact, in New York City, where there are more Swedes than in all of Husqvarna, more people drink Rheingold than any other beer. Why do Swedish Americans like Rheingold? We don't know, but we must be doing something right.
Nick Wilhite and Johnny Padres have both been warming in the bullpen, and it will be Nick Wilhite coming in. Left-hander Nick Wilhite takes over the pitching now for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Jim Brewer relieved Claude Osteen in the fifth inning. So Brewer pitched 1 1/3. He allowed no runs, gave up 1 hit. Jim Brewer walked 2 and struck out 1. But now Wilhite is the third Dodger pitcher. Nick has won 1 and lost 2. He beat Philadelphia 4-0 for his victory early in the year. Lost to the Pirates 4-1 and lost to the St. Louis Cardinals 4-3. Left-hander Nick Wilhite is on the mound for the Dodgers, last of the 7th inning, and Jim Hickman is the leadoff batter for New York. Mets leading by 3. They're out in front 7-4. Eddie Craneboul on deck, and then Chris Cannizzaro. A high foul ball wafted back upstairs and out of play. Now checking the National League pennant race. Cincinnati got a run in the 6th inning to tie up Milwaukee. That game is 3-3 after 5.5. Way inside, driving him back from the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Denny LeMaster is out of the game, and Bob Sadowski is pitching in relief. Sammy Ellis still going for Cincinnati. The Giants and the Pirates are tied 2-2 after 6.5. Bolin against Friend. It's high, he lays off. 2 balls and a strike. Houston and Philadelphia tied 3-3 at the end of 5. Way inside. That one nicked him on the top of the left arm. Hickman goes to first base, hit by a pitch. As he jumped back from the plate to get away from the inside fastball, it kept following him and just grazed the top of his left arm between the elbow and wrist. Eddie Craneboul has had a big night with a base hit driving in a run in the 1st inning. Lined hard to center fielder Willie Davis, and then triple to right center driving in a run. So Eddie has driven 2 runs in tonight, hiking his total on the year to 48. He's 5 behind the club leader, Charlie Smith. Charlie will probably be out for the Houston series. Outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. And the club leader, Charlie Smith. Charlie will probably be out for the Houston series. Outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. Eddie Craneboul hit a line drive that looked like a long single that turned into a triple when Ron Fairley slipped and fell. It was Eddie's 4th 3-bagger of the year, the most on the club. It's on the outside corner for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Eddie has hit well at home here at Shea Stadium this year. His batting slumps have come on the road trips. Throw to first, not in time. The 1-1 delivery is hit over into the Dodger dugout. We couldn't see whether everybody got out of the way or not. All right. Boy, that ball went into the dugout like a shot. And apparently everybody's all right. Here's the pitch on the way. A sidearm curve that is swung and missed by Eddie Craneboul, strike 3. Will Height got out in front on Cranepool, and then he stepped toward first with a crossfire curveball. Very favorable report from the Dodger clubhouse on Johnny Roseboro. The report is that Johnny will be able to return to action right away. The runner goes, hit and run, a base hit to left field, and Hickman is going to stop at second base. He took a long turn and then slammed on the brakes. So Canizero delivers a hit and run single into left field. Runners on first and second, one man out, Chuck Hiller coming up. The Mets lead the Dodgers 7-4. We're in the last half of the seventh. Chuck Hiller, 0 for 3 this evening. Stands well up toward the front of the batter's box, chokes up slightly on the handle of the bat. He tried to hold up on a breaking pitch, and it broke right over the plate for a strike. Pitch thrown by Nick Wilhite is low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Wilhite takes his sign from Jeff Torborg, and the fastball is a strike on the inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We'll bring you right up to date on all the scores of the other games at the end of the inning. One man away, runners on first and second. Dodgers playing straight away. Way outside, a good stop by Jeff Torborg. He had to lunge to get that one. Almost got away from Nick Wilhite. It's 2-2. Asked for time. He wants to talk to Wilhite. Every game so important to the pennant contenders. Two and two the count on Chuck Hiller. Now the curve is low at outside, ball 3, and the string is out 3-2. Pittsburgh applying a lot of pressure, and they have driven themselves right into this National League race. And they did it by cooling off a hot ball club. They beat Milwaukee 3 out of 4. At a time, the Braves were on a real rampage, and they beat the Giants last night. There go the runners on 3-2. A slow ground ball charged again is Lefebvre. He throws to first in time to get Hiller, and the runners move along to second and third. Gordon Richardson getting a nice hand as he comes up to hit. He has pitched well in relief. Well, in tonight's game, the Mets fell only about 488 people shy of reaching 1,400,000 in home attendance. A swing and a miss by Gordon Richardson, strike 1. Tomorrow night's crowd will probably be the largest of the 4 nights with the Dodgers. Sandy Koufax, that's a tremendous attraction. Now the pitch on the way. It's inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. It is generally agreed that Sandy Koufax will become, next year, the first $100,000 pitcher in the history of baseball. Previous high salary drawn by a pitcher had been Warren Spahn's $85,000. Foul ball back toward the crowd and out of play. Runners on second and third, 2 men down. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Gordon Richardson. Will Hyatt working deliberately, and now Gordon steps out of the batter's box. Will Hyatt has been dealt away by the Dodgers to Washington, but was turned back and has helped them out. A swing and a miss, he struck him out. Will Hyatt fanning Gordon Richardson. He struck out 2 in the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. 7 innings complete. The Mets 7 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. The Dodgers 4 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. In the National League, Houston scored 2 runs in the 6th inning. They now lead Philadelphia 5-3 at the end of 5.5. Mike Queller is in relief of Bob Bruce. For the Phillies, Ray Culp was the starter, Roebuck in the 5th, Bo Belinsky in the 6th inning. The Giants and Pirates are now tied 2-2, with the Giants hitting in the top of the 8th inning. Bob Bolin and Bob Friend are locked up in the mound duel. Cincinnati and Milwaukee are tied 3-3 at the end of 6. Sammy Ellis pitching for Cincinnati, looking for his 17th. Bob Sadowski relieved Denny LeMaster in the 6th inning for the Braves. Frank Robinson, a 2-run homer for Cincinnati. Mac Jones, a 2-run homer for the Milwaukee Braves. The Chicago Cubs lead St. Louis 3-1 at the end of 4. Dick Ellsworth against Bob Gibson. The Minnesota Twins and a home run by Allen lead the New York Yankees 1-0 after 4.5. Al Downing against Merritt. The Red Sox in a home run battle beat Washington 8-3 tonight. A ball game in which there were 8 home runs hit, 7 of the 8 with the bases clear. Earl Wilson the winner and Mike McCormick the loser. Baltimore 2, the White Sox won after 5 innings. Bill Pappas against Gary Peters. Kansas City leads Detroit 4-0 at the end of 3. Wickersham has relieved Joe Sparma, and Hunter, Catfish Hunter, is pitching for Kansas City. Cleveland won, the Angels nothing at the end of 4. Hargan against Sanford. That's the first game of a twilight night doubleheader on the West Coast. Maury Wells is up against Gordon Richardson in the 8th inning. New York 7, the Dodgers 4. Here's the pitch on the way. He bluffed at a bunt, didn't offer, and the pitch is over, strike 1. Maury has 1 hit and 3 times up. Now the windup. Here's the pitch on the way. It's under the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ron Hunt in close at third. Now the pitch to Wills. A bouncer right back to the mound, taken by Richardson. To first base, 1 man down. Now Junior Gilliam coming up. Gilliam tripled in. Maury Wills in the 1st inning. He singled to right in the 3rd inning and flied to center in the 5th inning. So Gilliam 2 hits and 3 times up. Ground ball, a foul going down over toward the Dodger dugout. Bounds in and out of the Dodger dugout. Now Richardson over the head. Here's his pitch. Outside and high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Junior Gilliam, Willie Davis, and Wes Parker have driven in the 3 Dodger runs. Gilliam getting the run in with a triple. Willie Davis with a sacrifice fly, and Wes Parker with a home run. The 1-1 pitch. Line shot over the head of McMillan into left field, a base hit. So Gilliam has his 3rd hit of the ball game. That is only the 2nd hit off Richardson in relief, and it's the first solid hit. The other was a Texas League fly ball double to short left. Willie Davis has knocked in a run with a sacrifice fly, single to left, and reached safely on an error charged to Crane Pool. So Willie has 1 hit and 2 trips. A foul ball back into the screen. Dave Eilers is on call now in the Mets bullpen, and so is Larry Miller. Now Richardson up in the pitching position. Delivers to Willie Davis, inside and high. 1 ball, 1 strike. If the Mets can win tonight, they will have a record of 5 wins and 7 ball games on this homestand. 1-1 delivery. Foul ball back into the backstop. No play, and it's 1-2 on Willie Davis. Sandy Koufax to a lifetime record of 13 wins and no losses against the Mets. His bound opponent will be 20-year-old Tug McGraw. Tug went all the way, beating the St. Louis Cardinals last Sunday for his first Major League win. Inside and high on Willie Davis, and the count is even at 2-2. 2-2 delivery. Foul ball off the mask of Canizero. Count remains the same on Willie Davis. And as we mentioned earlier, Willie Davis has stolen 20 bases this year. Has been thrown out only 6 times all year, and 4 of the 6 by Chris Canizero. Willie was thrown out by Canizero in the 5th inning. The 2-2 delivery. A foul ball wafted back toward our broadcasting booth and out of play. Next pitch to Willie Davis. Another foul ball back to the screen. Eddie Cranepool is not holding against Junior Gilliam. And Roy McMillan shades Willie Davis over towards second base. He shades him over far enough that he'd have a good shot at coming up with the ball. He'd run over the bag. Ron Hunt wide of the line, but even with the bag at third, and the outfield swung around to right. Pitching 2-2. A fly ball down the right field line. Joe Christopher moving slowly toward the line. Joe's under it waiting. And he makes the catch. Willie Davis flies to right. Ron Fairley coming up, and Wes Westrom wants to talk to Gordon Richardson for a moment. He's jogging out to either tell him something or ask him how he feels. He has been pitching superbly in relief. He's given up only 2 hits. One of the 2 was a Texas Leaguer. The other was a solid base hit. The chances are a great deal better against the Dodgers with left-hand pitching. If it does nothing else, it helps to curtail that running speed. Against left-hand pitching this year, the Dodgers are 29-23. And against right-handers, 44-31. Now Richardson delivers to Fairley. Fastball off the shoulder. 1 ball and no strikes. Fairley 0 for 3. He was the batting star in the Dodgers' victory in the opening game of this series when he drove in 4 of their 8 runs. Check swing grounder, and it's a fair ball picked up by Cranepool. He steps on the bag, and the side is out. Dodgers arguing that it was a foul ball. Ron Fairley turns to double check it with the plate umpire, Billy Williams. First base umpire, Bob Ingalls, said fair ball. And Cranepool had the easiest play in the world to make. It was a soft liner on a check swing. He picked it up on the first hop and stepped on first base. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. At the end of 7.5 innings to score, the New York Mets 7 and the Los Angeles Dodgers 4. And now a word from Viceroy Cigarettes.
Which filter cigarette should you be enjoying today? Some brands taste too strong, as if they didn't even have a filter. And some taste too light. You know the kind. They never seem to satisfy your taste. But there is an answer, and here it is.
Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Not too strong and not too light. The taste that's right.
That's right. Viceroy. The fact is, Viceroy is specifically designed to taste the way you'd like a filtered cigarette to taste. Not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the filter for the taste that's right. When you try them, you'll agree. Viceroy's got the taste that's right.
Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Not too strong and not too light. The taste that's right.
Last of the 8th inning, leadoff batter Ron Hunt will be up against relief pitcher Nick Wilhite. Ron has reached on a walk and had a single and 3 times up tonight. The Mets have 7 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. The Dodgers 4 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. Wilhite winding. And the pitch to Hunt is inside and low. 1 ball and no strikes. Now the pitch on the way. And it's a strike on the inside corner of the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. One delivery. Under the knees, 2 balls and 1 strike. Dodgers go on to Philadelphia after they close out their 4-game series with New York tomorrow night at Shea Stadium. After their series in Philadelphia this weekend, they go home. Breaking ball down low, and Wilhite has a 3-1 count on Ron Hunt. Slow grounder tapped back toward the mound, grabbed by Wilhite. He throws to first, and it's in time. Double checking ourselves on the Dodgers schedule. They go to Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Houston, and then back home. They have 2 games left with the Giants at Dodger Stadium. They'll be the first 2 games when the Dodgers get back to Dodger Stadium. Roy McMillan looks the pitch over, and it's down low. 1 ball and no strikes. One out, nobody on. Bottom half of the 8th inning. Fastball too high. It's 2-0 on Roy McMillan. Mack has hit safely in 18 of the last 20 ball games. He's looking for his first hit of this ball game. Roy has flied out, bounced to short, bounced to third, and reached on a walk. It's over at the letters for a call strike, 2-1. Delivery. A swing and a miss and a high hard one, and the count is 2-2 on Roy McMillan. The Dodgers in the 9th inning will have Lou Johnson, Jim Lefebvre, and Wes Parker coming up against Gordon Richardson. 2-2 delivery. Change up, a fly ball in the air to short left. Drifting in is Lou Johnson. He's under it, and he puts it away for the second out. So 2 outs and nobody on, and right here we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
Follow the Mets on WGY Schenectady, the voice of the Mets in the great Northeast.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner from Shea Stadium. Now Joe Christopher, the batting star of the game for the New York Mets, steps in. Joe has 2 singles and a 2-run homer, 3 hits and 4 times up. Christopher has brought his average up now to 250. A foul ball back over the screen, strike 1. Now the pitch on the way. Inside and low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Nick Wilhite delivers it high into the air. A deep fly ball to left center. Back by the track is Johnson. He's under it. And he makes the catch on the warning track in deep left center. 3 up and 3 down in the last of the 8th inning. And now at the end of 8 innings, it's the New York Mets 7, the Los Angeles Dodgers 4. Guy Lombardo, who brought you around the world in 80 days, has another musical spectacular for you at the Jones Beach Theater. Don't miss Mardi Gras and its fabulous World of New Orleans. It's the best yet at the Jones Beach Theater. The latest on the Gemini 5 flight, Gemini 5 is now in its 69th orbit. Except for itchy beards and a few housekeeping problems, such as feeling the close confinement of their cramped quarters, the astronauts, Cooper and Conrad, are in tip-top shape. They have now set a new American space mark, and at 6 minutes past 8 tomorrow morning, we'll catch up with Russia's world mark of 119 hours and 6 minutes. Ninth inning coming up, and we hope you'll be coming out to Shea Stadium tomorrow night as Sandy Koufax goes for his 22nd. And Sandy needs only 10 strikeouts. Sounds like a lot in one ball game, and for most pitchers it would be, but not for Koufax at times, and most of the time, to tie his own National League strikeout record of 306 strikeouts in a season. Now Lou Johnson up as we go to the 9th inning. New York in front by 3. Richardson winding. Johnson hits a high fly to center field, ambling over to his left side of Hickman, and he puts it away, 1 man down. Richardson has now gone 6 innings in relief in this ball game. He's allowed no runs, given up just 2 hits. Under the knees, 1 ball and no strikes on Jim Lefebvre. Cincinnati got a run in the 7th inning. They now lead the Milwaukee Braves 4-3 after 6.5. 16-game winner Sammy Ellis is on the mound for the Reds. This one is over at the knees for a strike. The Giants and Pirates are tied 2-2 going to the 9th inning. Houston 5, Philadelphia 4. They're on the last of the 7th. Grounder hit down to third. Bad hop grabbed by Hunt. He fails in time. He's got him. Bad hop, but Hunt came up with it by reacting quickly and grabbing the ball in the midsection. 2 outs and nobody on. The hitter is Wes Parker. Hitting left-handed, hit a line drive home run back in the 2nd. At the time, it tied the game 3-3. 1 ball and no strikes on Parker. Since then, he has been robbed of a hit on a brilliant play by Roy McMillan and grounded out to third. On the inside corner for a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. Foul ball. Back over the screen, no play. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Wes Parker. 2 outs in the 9th inning, and the Mets in front 7-4. Now the pitch on the way. A line drive toward right center field. It'll be in for a base hit. Parker takes the turn. He's on with a single. He just kind of slammed that one into right center field. Third hit given up in relief by Gordon Richardson. And it brings up Jeff Torborg. Jeff has been up once and grounded out short to first. He came in the ball game when Johnny Roseborough suffered a split finger on his right hand when he was hit with a foul tip off the bat of Gordon Richardson. It's over, strike 1 call. Don Drysdale has come out on deck to bat for Nick Wilhite if Torborg keeps the game a-going. Now the pitch on the way. Foul ball, lofted back across the dugout and into the crowd. No play. A 2-strike count on Jeff Torborg. The Mets can win this one. They will have taken 5 out of 7 since coming back to Shea Stadium. Now Richardson set, delivers. A drive hit toward the alley in left center. Running hard is Swoboda. Dives for it and can't get it. It's a base hit. It's rolling all the way back to the wall. Parker around third will score, and Torborg stops at second with a run-scoring double. He hit a 2-strike pitch and kept the Dodgers' hopes alive. He really ripped it a long drive to left center field. The Dodgers have their first run home off Gordon Richardson since he came on in the 3rd. And Don Drysdale, a home run threat, is coming up. The bat for Nick Wilhite, and Wes Westrom is on his way to the mound. Dave Eilers has been on call in the bullpen. Richardson was so close to having this one over. He had the Dodgers down to their final strike. But with a 2-strike count on him, Jeff Torborg lashed out with a line drive double to left center field. Wes Parker, with that great speed of his, easily came all the way around to score. It's 7-5, and Drysdale is the potential tying run at bat as he comes up. Drysdale as a pinch hitter in the game last night with a score tied 1-1. Delivered a base hit that got the Dodgers started. They went on to score 2 runs and go in front 3-1. The Mets rallied in the last of the 9th inning to win the game 4-3. And Richardson will stay in the ballgame. Now the pitch on the way. A ground ball bounced to short. McMillan takes it, strides. The long throw. The Mets win. The Mets win it on a strong relief performance by southpaw Gordon Richardson and some robust hitting, particularly in the early part of the ballgame. So the Mets, after losing the opening game of the series, have bounced back to win the next 2. In the 9th inning, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on. The final score, the Mets 7 and the Dodgers 5. And we'll be back with the recap in just a moment. Now you're going to hear a terribly sad song about a man who's unlucky in love, but lucky in beer.
From the little cafes of Romania comes the song about Ionelule, who drinks to forget the fire that burns his heart because marijuana doesn't love him. Even if you're not on fire like poor Ionelule, you can work up a passionate Romanian thirst with spicy salamale, and then will very likely call for a Rheingold. It's a fact that in New York City, where there are more Romanians than in Bailesh, more people drink Rheingold Extra Dry than any other beer. How come? Maybe you can find out at your local pivnica, but they must be doing something right.
Final score tonight at Shea Stadium, the New York Mets 7 and the Los Angeles Dodgers 5. A brilliant relief job turned in by southpaw Gordon Richardson. He came on to replace starting pitcher Jack Fisher as early as the third inning. Gordon remained to finish the game out, going 6 2/3 innings. He gave up just 1 run, allowed 4 hits, did not walk a man, and struck out 1. Richardson, the winning pitcher, his second victory against 1 loss. The Dodgers starter, Claude Osteen, the loser. Osteen now has won 11 and lost 12. The 2 runs scored in the 5th inning by the New York Mets on a double by Jim Hickman, a triple by Eddie Craneboule, and a wild pitch proved to be the conclusive runs in the ball game. The Dodgers scored 2 runs in the first inning of the game on a single by Wills, a triple by Gilliam, and a sacrifice fly by Willie Davis. But New York came right back in their half of the first inning to score 3 runs. Ron Swoboda, Eddie Craneboule, Chris Canizero, and Joe Christopher all driving in runs this evening. Joe Christopher continuing his hot streak. Joe had 2 singles and a home run. His home run was a 2-run homer. So the Mets win it with a line score of 7 runs, 10 hits, 1 error, and 8 left. The Dodgers 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and 4 left. Richardson, with a long and strong relief stint, is the winning pitcher. The loser, Claude Osteen. Mets now lead the series 2-1. They've won 5 of their last 6, 5 of 7 on the current homestand. Tomorrow night, the final game of the series, Sandy Koufax against Doug McGraw. Game time 8 p.m. Hope you're planning to be on hand. Tonight's game was brought to you by Rheingold, New York City's largest selling beer. And what a remarkable thing that is. In New York, a city of so many different people with different tastes, one beer has become the favorite, Rheingold Extra Dry. Now, we don't know why so many people like our beer, but we must be doing something right, and we'll keep right on doing it. Tonight's game was also brought to you by Viceroy. Not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the filter for the taste that's right. And by the Shell Oil Company, makers of Super Shell, good mileage gasoline. Stop at the Clean White Pump for Super Shell.
In old baseball land, there are no fans so